It's me, it's Queen Seheru, and thank you for joining me for another wonderful edition of Ask an Aquarius. If you haven't already, please hit the red subscribe button and smack the bell. Let's just get right into it, right? I have been researching narcissistic personality disorder for about a couple months now, off and on, just reading little things here and there. Because several people have said to me, do you think that Aquarius suffer from narcissism? Now, you guys that are watching this and are following my thought process will know that anybody from any zodiac sign can have any disorder, you know? But it is true that certain signs are prone to certain disorders of the mental health, physical health, and so on. For example, Libras are prone to bipolar disorder. How do I know that? Because I know a lot of Libras, and almost all of them have bipolar disorder. Now, I'm going to say all of them. I would say, like, out of all the ones I know personally, let's say I know 15, 11 of them have bipolar disorder, according to them. So I've always thought that it was because of imbalance, you know? Bipolar disorder is said to be caused by a chemical imbalance in the brain. So I'm like, okay, Libra, imbalance, it makes sense, you know? So for narcissism, I wanted to read about it and see if it matched the Aquarius energy. Now, first of all, they said that narcissism itself was named after a young boy named Narcissus. Narcissus is from Greek mythology, and Narcissus was said to be the most handsome young lad in the world. Beautiful face, you know, features, just perfect curls, just all that. You know, just all of that, you know? So Narcissist fell in love with himself, his own reflection in the water, and basically perished because he, you know, fell in love with his own reflection. Now, it's different versions of the story, some longer, some shorter, some add more to it. But the bottom line was that this boy was so conceited that he fell in love with his own face, okay? Now, they named this disorder after him because that's what this disorder is like. It's a person who is basically in love with themselves and think that everybody else should be in love with them too. Basically. So that's what the disorder is. Now, you've heard me use the term before. You know, you've heard probably plenty of people use this term before. It's a very common term in our society. So let me tell you the symptoms of this disorder. So like I said before, this person is so, you know, conceited and in love with themselves, and they want everybody else to be as well. But it goes beyond just being a little annoying. That's why it's a personality disorder, because once it goes past being annoying to being something that's affecting their relationships, you know, like the narcissists that I can think of, all the ones I can think of have difficult times with their relationships with everybody, not just their romantic ones, but with their kids, with their family, you know, with their lovers. A lot of narcissists often are single, but not all the time. They'll be with somebody for a little while, then they're single again. Because one of the things you're going to hear from this list I'm about to give you is that the narcissist is able to mimic normal behavior. So they can pull a pretty girl, they can pull a cute guy, but they can't keep them because their narcissistic behavior starts to come out. They can't hide it for long. So let's talk about the symptoms, okay? All right. The first symptom is a grandiose sense of importance. And all of these things you're going to see, the biggest thing about them is that they don't make sense. Like, if you're the CEO of Nabisco, it kind of makes sense why you have a grandiose sense of importance. If you are P. Diddy, yeah, I can understand you having a grandiose sense of importance. Everybody knows you. You have all this money, you know. I mean, like, of course, you know, like if you are certain people in certain positions, it's kind of understandable that you would have a grandiose sense of importance. But the typical person with narcissistic personality disorder is not the CEO of Nabisco. They work at Burger King, you know, or they're like, just a regular person, like any of us. They work at Walmart or something like that, you know. but they'll come off with this grandiose sense like, the whole store would fall apart if they weren't there, the whole world will fall apart if they did not exist at this very moment. And they believe that, and they say it and preach it in every way that they possibly can. And you sitting there thinking to yourself, huh? How do you even think that? And that's what they think. That's the disorder part. Something in the brain is a little bit off because they really believe this. The next one is preoccupation with unlimited success. They are preoccupied with this idea of, like, for instance, having their own island, or being rich, or, owning all these fancy cars, or having women just drop their drawers at their feet. They have these and it's like and they might not talk about it all the time, but they are going to have a occupation with this idea. They're going to be focused on it often, and according to what the manual said, a person will exhibit 5 or more of these behaviors to have the personality disorder. So you could have one of these things by itself and not have narcissistic personality disorder, but if you have 5 or more, you definitely have, according to the therapist, narcissistic personality disorder. So anyway, they're preoccupied with, like, Rolex watches and materialism and, wanting a helicopter and stuff like that. But it's always, again, unrealistic things that they're not even working towards, not even trying to work towards it, So it's really crazy. And they always swear that everybody, knows them or is jealous of them or, thinks too highly of them or knows, how great they are. And most times people don't even know who they are or don't think highly of them at all. Belief that one is special and unique. This is one I think everybody should believe, that they're special and unique, because we all are, actually. But a narcissist is going to think they're special and unique, not you. Just them, They're special, they're unique, and they're the only one, And as far as I'm concerned, we all are. But a narcissist is not going to see anybody else's specialness or anybody else's uniqueness. Exploitative of others. A narcissist will use you. Like, oh my God, would they use you? A narcissist will take advantage of you for your money, your time, your body. They'll use you for anything they can get from you. They'll bleed you dry. They exploit anybody who allows them to. So a lot of people get away from them because they get tired of being exploited. They lack the empathy, which is the next one. They lack empathy. They lack the empathy not to exploit others, and it doesn't matter who the other is. Old people, anybody can get it, They lack empathy. They have no empathy for other people. They can mimic it, though. Remember I said earlier, a narcissist can pretend to be a good person, can pretend to be a normal person, but they can't hold it. A narcissist can only pretend to be normal for a certain amount of time, 2 weeks, a month, and their cover is blown, because this disorder is a serious mental health issue. It's not just something that you can hide your way through. That's like having, any other kind of disorder. Let's say you have any kind of disease or any kind of disorder and you're trying to hide it. You might be able to hide it for a certain amount of time, but then them symptoms are going to keep on showing up, So they're able to mimic being normal. They can pretend to have empathy. Some people will say to me, but they'll think their narcissist loves them, but your narcissist can't love you. They're incapable of it. In most cases, because they're not even able to sympathize or empathize with you or, really connect with you because of that. So that's a really big issue. They're very arrogant. A narcissist is more arrogant than anybody you've ever seen, and they just think they the shiznit. They got the best clothes, they got the best everything. They are just all that, and it doesn't matter what the reality is. Your narcissist can work at Walmart and have one pair of shoes with a hole in them. They think they is they is the shiznit. They're always arrogant. They'll find something about their personality, and they'll hold on to that. It's always something. And they are jealous of others. That's the last one. Narcissists are very jealous of other people. They don't want to see other people come up, which is weird to me because it's like if you all that, it shouldn't bother you if somebody else get a little bit of that, you know? But they don't want to see anybody get anything, you know. Narcissists have this real kind of they think everything belongs to them, kind of, and they're entitled. They have a very strong, that's one of them that I didn't see on this list that I've seen on some other lists. They have a strong sense of entitlement. They think that people owe them something, you know. You owe them loyalty. You owe them, you owe them to let them exploit you. You know, they have that kind of energy going on. Like they're very spoiled and entitled in that kind of way. So the question now becomes: now we know what narcissist. We know what it's named after. We know the symptoms of it. You know, and the question now becomes, are Aquarius guilty of being narcissistic? Now, I would say yes. I would say that some Aquarius are. And looking at this list, I would say dark Aquarius. I would say dark Aquarius are definitely capable of all of these things. But the ones that really stand out to me for a dark Aquarius are exploitative of others, lacking empathy, being arrogant, and jealous. Those are characteristics of a dark Aquarius. A dark Aquarius is often jealous. I grew up with a dark Aquarius, and it didn't matter to her what she had. She'll be jealous of what you have. It didn't matter. You know, you could both have the same thing, and she'd be upset that you got one too. You know, very strong jealous behavior. Would mess with your boyfriend just because you got one. She don't even want him. You know, just to be smart. You know. Lacked empathy for other people, could sometimes fake it, very arrogant, very exploitative, you know. So yeah, a lot of preoccupation with success. So I would say yes, a dark Aquarius does fit into these categories. But I always tell you guys, if you meet a dark Aquarius, you already know because they're a negative person. They do negative things, you know? And so if you're dealing with a negative Aquarius, another thing that you now know is that they may also be narcissistic. A lot of times they're very selfish. A lot of times they have commitment issues too. We talked about that in the past. And we've talked about their abandonment issues. Well, add this to the list. Some of them will be also narcissistic. And again, like I said before, this is because they're, you know, focused on themselves. And I'm not going to say there's anything wrong with being focused on yourself, because I actually encourage people to focus more on their own backyard and stop minding everybody else's business. I do encourage that. But the problem is that they can only think about themselves. So anybody else doesn't matter. They can only think about themselves. They can only consider themselves. You know, they don't love and consider and care and empathize with the rest of the planet. So if you have a dark Aquarius, you have a problem. You have a problem. And here's just another this is just another piece to the problem that you have, because you have a person who really is incapable of loving you. You have a person who's incapable of being a partner. You can't be a partner if all you're thinking about is yourself. If you're looking at your own reflection in the mirror 24 hours a day, then you definitely not focused on me and the kids, you know? So this is not the kind of person you could have a partnership with. And I always tell you not to be in a relationship with a dark Aquarius. Well, here's one more reason. Okay? A light Aquarius is not going to be a narcissist. A light Aquarius would think a light Aquarius would not be materialistic, number one. A light Aquarius would like prosperity. We like money. We like nice things, but we're not constantly preoccupied with materialism. We believe that everyone is special and unique in their own way. We do not believe in exploiting other people. We empathize with ourselves and others. We're not arrogant. We're actually very humble because we know who God is. We're very aware that it's not us. And we're not jealous of other people because we know that the universe is infinite and there's enough for everybody. You know? So the light Aquarius, no. But the dark ones and the gray ones could definitely fall into this area sometimes. So be very careful, babes. See you guys later. Oh, I'm going to leave underneath here my email in case you guys want to make an appointment for an oracle card reading, a tarot reading, or if you want to ask me a free general question. I will also leave underneath here my PayPal in case you want to give me a love donation. Thank you for the donations. I will also leave my social media in case you want to hit me up on Instagram or Facebook. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you know somebody who's dealing with a narcissist, send them this video so they can see exactly what they're dealing with. And that's it. Thank you.